I bought my mom a house and paid all her bills, but at a family gathering, she snapped, "You only cause us headaches." Everyone took her side until I said I wouldn't support their luxury anymore. Her words echoed in my mind long after. "You never give us anything but headaches." The room grew quiet, no one met my eyes. My uncle stirred his coffee, my aunt shifted uncomfortably, my cousins suddenly became glued to their phones. Not one person spoke up for me. That hurt more than I wanted to admit. I had provided this home for her, paid the electricity, water, groceries, even the internet so my younger cousins could watch their shows. I made sure she never had to worry about money or choose between heat and food. Yet there she was, dismissing me in front of everyone like I was nothing. I clenched my fists under the table, forcing my face to stay calm. I wouldn't give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. "That's not fair, Mom," I said, steady but firm. "I pay for everything, this house, the bills, the food." She snapped back, "And you never let us forget it, like you're doing us a favor. A real daughter wouldn't keep score." I swallowed hard and looked around the room. My brother Mark sat back, arms crossed, expression unreadable. My sister-in-law avoided my gaze. My cousins stayed silent. No one was on my side. I took a deep breath. "Fine," I said, standing and pushing my chair away. "If my help is such a burden, I won't be a burden anymore." The tension was thick. Mom's mouth opened as if she expected me to beg for forgiveness, but I was done asking for what should have been given freely. "I'm done paying for this house, done covering bills, done supporting everyone while being treated like an outsider." My uncle coughed, my aunt's eyes widened. Mark leaned forward. "Wait." "No," I interrupted, shaking my head. "You all let her say that to me. You let her treat me like a nuisance. So fine, let's see how you manage without me." I grabbed my purse and walked out. Outside, my hands trembled, breath quickened, heart pounding. I had set a boundary for the first time in years, but instead of relief, I felt empty. In my car, my knuckles white from gripping the wheel, I knew what was coming next. Mom would twist my words, the family would side with her. I'd be the selfish daughter who abandoned them. But this time, I wouldn't go back. My phone buzzed. "Mom, come back, you're overreacting." "Mark, what are you doing? You can't just leave like that." I turned my phone off and drove away. Days passed. Silence, no calls, no texts. Like the quiet before a storm. Then the messages flooded in. "Mom, the electricity bill's due. Are you serious about this?" "Mark, Mom's crying. Do you really want this?" "Aunt Lisa, families argue, but cutting everyone off isn't the answer. Let's talk." I ignored them all. Then came the guilt trips turning to anger. "Mom, after everything I did, how could you?" "Mark, you're selfish. You think money makes you better." Selfish. That word again, the one they use whenever I don't give in. I laughed bitterly and tossed my phone on the bed. A knock at the door. "Mark." Arms crossed, face annoyed. "You made your point, now stop being dramatic and fix this." I leaned on the frame, arms folded. "Fix what?" "Mom's losing it, bills piling up, and you just walked away?" I raised an eyebrow. "Why is that my problem?" "Because you always handle it." "Maybe that's the problem," I said calmly. "Maybe it's time someone else did." Mark scoffed. "Like who, Mom? She doesn't work. Me, I have my own expenses." "And I don't?" I asked. "You make more," he snapped. "It's not the same." There it was, the real reason they thought they deserved my money. "Making more doesn't mean I owe you. I bought the house, paid every bill, every grocery run, every emergency. And instead of thanks, I get told I'm just a headache." Mark ran his hand through his hair. "She didn't mean it, she was upset." "No," I said, "she meant it, and no one defended me, not even you." He looked away. A silence. For the first time, I saw guilt flicker in his eyes. "You don't understand," he said quietly. "Mom's scared. She doesn't know how to handle things without you." "Then she should have thought of that before humiliating me in front of everyone," I said, stepping inside. "I'm done, Mark, figure it out." And I closed the door. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and gave her the same answer I'd given Mark: figure it out. For the first time in my life, I felt free. Days turned into weeks. I had hoped my mother would eventually come around, apologize, admit she was wrong, even just recognize all I'd done for her over the years. But she never did. Instead, she dug in her heels. Through whispers and gossip, I heard the stories spreading that I'd abandoned my own mother, that I'd driven her toward financial ruin, that I was so consumed by money I thought it could replace love and family. And my favorite, that she had raised a selfish, ungrateful daughter who turned her back on the woman who gave her life. It was absurd. I had done everything for her, bought her a house, paid every bill, ensured she never worried about a thing. But the moment I stopped, I became the villain. Yet lies always crumble when faced with truth. And that truth was about to shake her world. The cracks appeared slowly. One night, Aunt Lisa, once one of Mom's fiercest defenders, called me. "Sweetheart, I visited your mom today. She didn't look like she's struggling at all." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "Well, she just got a brand new dining set, and she was showing off a new gold bracelet your brother bought her." My stomach sank. She'd told everyone she couldn't afford food, that the electricity was about to be cut off. Aunt Lisa sighed. "If that's true, she sure isn't acting like it." It wasn't just Aunt Lisa. Other family members started noticing how Mark still took weekend trips, how Mom would play the victim one moment, then post pictures of fancy brunches the next. Then came the real shock. My cousin Rachel called me. "Do you know how much your mom is charging Mark for rent?" "What?" "His wife said he's only paying her $100 a month." I nearly dropped my phone. $100? I had paid thousands every month for that house. But once I stepped away, Mark, who had a steady job, was giving her pocket change. They hadn't suffered. They were pretending to, waiting for me to come back. I was done. That Sunday, I returned to the house for the first time in weeks. Mom's face twisted into that familiar mix of displeasure and triumph. She expected an apology. Mark stood in the kitchen, arms crossed, smug. I almost left. Instead, I took a deep breath, set my purse down, and said, "Let me be clear, I am never paying for anything in this house again." Mom scoffed. "Oh, please, we all know you'll come crawling back. You need us." Mark smirked. "Yeah, you're not going to let Mom suffer, we know that." I tilted my head and fixed him with a steady gaze. "How much rent are you paying, Mark?" His smirk vanished. "What?" "You heard me." He glanced at Mom, then back at me. "That's none of your business." "Oh, but it is," I said, stepping closer. "I've heard some interesting things, like how you're giving Mom $100 a month." Mom stiffened. "Who told you that?" "Does it matter?" I folded my arms. "You've told everyone you're struggling, on the brink of ruin, that I abandoned you. Meanwhile, Mark's handing you pocket change while you buy gold bracelets." Mark's face flushed. That's. I cut him off. "Fair, reasonable? If that's true, then my money should have been more than enough to last you years." Mom's mouth opened, then closed. Silence. After a long pause, I spoke again. "I'm not coming back, Mom. Not to this, not to being used, not to disrespect. After all I've done, I was your daughter, not your retirement plan. If you can't see that, it's no longer my problem." For the first time, I saw something new in her expression: fear. Not just shock or anger, fear. She knew I wasn't bluffing. She had no backup plan. I picked up my purse and headed for the door. Mark broke the silence. "You're really going to leave us like this?" I turned and met his eyes. "You left me a long time ago." Then I walked away, leaving them to face the consequences. This time, I didn't look back. The boundary. "I didn't think you had it in you." "Well," I said, "I did. So that's it? You just, pretend we don't exist?" I sighed, rubbing my temple. "I don't pretend anything, Mom. You made it clear how you see me. I was just the one who paid the bills, and the second I stopped, you threw me away." "I didn't. You did." A long silence, then finally, "I'm struggling." I closed my eyes. "You could fix this," she added. "Just help out a little, just for a few months, until we figure things out." "No." Her voice hardened. "You're really going to let your own mother suffer?" And there it was, the guilt, her favorite weapon, the one she'd used on me all my life. But this time, it didn't work. Mom, I said quietly, I already gave everything I could, and it was never enough. It was never going to be. If I gave you money now, where would it end? In 6 months, you'd be right back here, asking again. It's different this time. No, it's not, I cut in, and deep down, you know that. She didn't respond. You never planned for life without my help, I continued. And now that I'm gone, you realize that was a mistake. But that's not my mistake to fix. Her breath caught. For a moment, I thought she might cry. But then she did what she always did, she turned cold. Fine, be heartless, but don't expect to come crawling back when you finally realize how alone you are. I exhaled slowly. I won't. And for the first time in my life, I hung up on her. The realization. I stared at the phone afterward, waiting for the guilt to rise. The familiar ache, the need to make it right, to put family first. But it never came. What I felt instead was peace. Because this time, I didn't cave. This time, I chose myself. And maybe, just maybe, that was the victory I'd been needing. The aftermath. Days passed, then weeks, then months. I waited for regret, for loneliness, for the overwhelming guilt she promised would come. But it didn't. Instead, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, relief. No more waking up with dread, wondering what financial crisis I'd be asked to solve next. No more constantly checking my bank balance. No more sacrificing my peace for their comfort. I was free. And I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was finally living. I traveled. I drank espresso in Rome under the afternoon sun. I hiked quiet mountain trails I never had the time or money for. I decorated my apartment into a space that felt like mine. I laughed, really laughed, without calculating the cost. I spent money on myself without guilt, without judgment, without anyone keeping score. And the best part? I didn't owe anyone an explanation. For once, my life was mine. The unexpected apology. One evening, as I sipped wine on my balcony, my phone buzzed. Mark. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Hey, he said, quieter than I'd ever heard him. Hey. Long pause. Then. I screwed up. I blinked. Come again? I should have backed you up at the dinner. When Mom went after you, I didn't say anything. I guess I thought you'd always be there, no matter what. But when you walked out, I had to step up, and that's when I realized just how much you were doing. Another pause, then softly. I'm sorry. I tightened my grip on the wine glass. What changed? He let out a humorless laugh. Mom did. She's still playing the victim, still blaming you. But now that I'm the one covering everything, she treats me the exact same way. Nothing's ever enough. The more I give, the more she wants. I sighed. Yeah, I know the feeling. I don't know how you managed it for so long. Because I thought I had to, I said. Silence. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, Mark said, but I needed to say it. I was a crappy brother, and I see that now. I closed my eyes and let it settle. I wasn't sure I was ready to forgive him. But for once, he wasn't asking for anything. He was just saying sorry. And maybe, for now, that was enough. The final goodbye. Weeks later, a call came in from an unknown number. Something told me to answer. You think you're better than us now? Came the familiar voice. I sighed. Hi, Mom. You embarrassed this family, she snapped, walking away like that. People are talking. Oh, and what are they saying I did? You left me to suffer. Suffer? I repeated. You mean after I paid for everything? After I worked myself to exhaustion to keep you comfortable while you judged every move I made? I raised you, she snapped. And I repaid you 1,000 times over, I said, more than any child should have to. Silence. You think you don't need me? No, I said gently, I know I don't, and that terrifies you, doesn't it? More silence. Then, her signature defense, a bitter laugh. You'll be back, she sneered, and when you are, don't expect open arms. I smiled. I won't. And I hung up for the last time. Epilogue, a life that's mine. A year later, I sat on a quiet beach, the tide brushing the shore. I had moved to a new city, started fresh, built a life that was mine alone. Mom tried to reach out a few more times, always with the same tactics: guilt, blame, manipulation. I never answered. Mark and I spoke now and then, cautiously, honestly. We weren't close, but we were healing. And me? I was finally happy. No more being the bank. No more being the scapegoat. No more being the one who had to hold everything together. I inhaled the salty air and let it fill my lungs. I was free. And I was never going back.